Eamon O'Carroll, you've had a few days now to review that game against Wakefield. Have your initial thoughts, views changed from what you described as a real good, proud performance?
No, not at all. Yeah, I'm really happy with how the boys approached that game. I thought our preparation was good. We went into that game with the right mentality, and certainly our start I thought was outstanding. I think we reached a level that we probably not got to this year. Unfortunately for us, we couldn't maintain that. So we're out of the final now, which is a real shame. But we'll take plenty of positives out of that game.
Have you detected much sort of dejection from the players this week? Have they needed picking up after obviously losing a semi-final?
Yeah, I think we all did in some respect. They care deeply about wanting to be successful here. So I'd probably be disappointed if that wasn't the case. We spent a good time together on Tuesday, but now we're fully focused on this week's game.
There was a lot of season high points from that performance against Wakefield. Lowest penalty count, no set restarts conceded, highest completion rate of the season. Going back to that proud comment, I guess the players can be happy with those aspects and efforts of that performance.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've got to take that into the rest of our season now. And I believe that's going to be the challenge for us. We've seen what it takes to do that. It's good that we managed to complete so highly. We probably didn't do it as well in the second half, but it just shows you that we've got the ability to do it. So that gives you the best chance of going winning games. So the game kind of broke loose a bit in the last 15-20 minutes. But like I said, plenty of positives to take from that. The big challenge for us now is replicating that week in, week out.
How are you going to try and get that message through to try and replicate that? Because obviously everybody who was there at Odsal and saw that first half performance, they're going to be like, wow, that bar has been set.
Yeah, well, I think that bit comes down to the players. We prepare their mental attitude going into a game. Everybody is up for a semi-final, but every week now is a semi-final for us. We want to climb up that ladder and finish as high up as we can. So nothing changes in that respect. What we've had now is a taste of what we can do. So backing that up week in, week out now is the challenge. But I've got the utmost confidence in the group that they'll do that.
And coming out of a real tough game against a very good Wakefield side, what can the side and yourself learn from a game like that?
Well, I think you've got to be in the game for 80 minutes. I think that's the big one, especially in our competition. It's a real tough competition. You're playing highly competitive teams week in, week out. So there's no time for rest. Our preparation is going to be key in that. I said we prepared well. We didn't have the most perfect of weeks, but I felt that helped us going into a game like that. It kind of kept us grounded. So yeah, that's the big one for us. Just learning from it, and if we want to be in them games again come the back end of the year, we know we've got a long way to go, but that's good. We'll enjoy the journey.
When we spoke to Darryl Powell after the game, he said on the record that's certainly the toughest game that they've had so far, certainly in regards to that sort of first half performance where Bradford literally went helter-skelter straight at them.
Yeah, and that's good to hear, but ultimately we didn't get the result that we wanted. So when we talk about taking positives out of the game, it's nice to hear that, but we probably felt it as well, which is probably just as powerful. So like I said to you, it's just important that we recognise what we did and the reasons why we went so well. And that came down to everyone sticking to a game plan, being ultra disciplined, and first and foremost probably the element of intent and the connection that we had together. So we've done that for periods during the year, but we want to make sure that we're doing it for 80 minutes week in, week out.
You're picking up that hunger this week from the players. We've shown what we can do, certainly in that first half against Wakefield. We're going to carry that on into Sheffield this week.
Yeah, but to be fair, I sense that every week from the group. The brilliant in that aspect. The humble in what they do. They know that what they replicate on a Sunday comes from the preparation during the week. So we'll have our main training session tonight and finish off the week tomorrow. Tuesday was really good. We spent some time just reconnecting and trying to keep our heads up from what was a difficult game. But I sense good energy from the group, and that'll be the same tonight and tomorrow.
Aribidoro after the game looked to be limping at the end. Is he okay?
Yeah, I think he limps during the game, after the game, week in, week out, and that's probably understandable with with how hard he's playing at the minute and how well he's playing. So no, Reeby's good. We're having to look after him. I think one of the positives about being out is we'll get some time to get some bodies back and rest some people like Aribi. He's doing it tough at the minute, but puts his hand up every week to play, which is brilliant.
But because of that adversity, you're having to play him, and obviously I guess it's good that he's He might not be at 100%, but he's wanting to be out there.
Yeah, probably with the way he's playing at the minute. You know, I'd continue to ask him even if we did have some bodies back. You know, I think he's playing a huge part for us at the minute. We love what he's doing and what he's about, and he's done that from game one. He's done it from pre-season, so I'm really happy with him. I'm really happy for him, the way he's performing. Really important for us at the minute. So yeah, the physios are into me all the time saying that we need to give him a rest, but when he's performing the way he is, we're probably not going to look to do that.
Did everybody else come through the Wakefield game unscathed? There's been no secret injuries since then?
No, we've a few busted. So Josh Tafua hurt his shoulder, probably needed to come off, but we just couldn't early on in the first half. So he's gone for a scan tonight. We'll get the results later on. And Jaden Myers was hobbling around a bit. He's got a bit of a groin issue as well. So we'll monitor them tonight when they come in, and we'll see if they'll take part in training. Is
it fair to say they're doubtful for Sunday's game?
Yeah, they're doubtful. Yeah.
On the back of obviously that Liam Tyndall signed on loan last week. I think you said last week he's definitely going to be in contention this week.
Yeah, both him and Jaden will be in contention this week, which is good. It seems to be the story of our season. We get a couple in, but we lose a couple as well. So there's not much competition for places at the minute, but that's good. There'll be a time when we get bodies back, which will be great.
On Jaden Ockenbaugh from Hull FC, how and why has that move come about?
Obviously he's available. I think he'll be the first to say he's probably not played his best, and we want to give him an opportunity to get back to his best. He's a more than capable player. He's played over 50 NRL games. The good thing about him is he's got a big smile on his face when he's here. I think he's really settled into the group well, so we want to give him that opportunity to get back to his best, and I'm sure he will.
Obviously comes with a lot of NRL experience and Super League experience. Yeah,
which is always good. He's been great since he's come in here. He's really settled into the group. His training standards are really good as well, so it'll be good to get him an opportunity and see him in a Bull shirt.
And obviously when you look at his positional play, he can play wing, centre, and he's done a few games in the back row, so there's a lot of utility value there.
Yeah, there is, but I think if we want to get him back to his best, it's important we're giving some clarity in what position he'll play there, so we'll look to play him in the outside backs.
Obviously, when you look at the situation with the adversity at this moment in time, who is potentially back this week out of the 9? I think I counted 9 Eamon that were missing for the Wakefield game.
Yeah, tonight's a big night for us, to be honest with you. A couple of lads are going to potentially take part in training after they've done some stuff with the physios. So it was really disappointing to lose Eben in our last session going into that semi-final. Well, hopefully he could be okay, which is a huge boost for us. Other than that, there's just probably too much of a grey area. I'll be a bit clearer tonight.
I'll ask two then, Jordan Baldwinson and Sam Hallis, are they any nearer?
Yeah, unfortunately Sam's not. A bit of a complicated one with him, so he's going to be in a boot for a couple of weeks, and then we'll get another opinion and maybe get some imaging to see how that injury's coming along, which is disappointing. We've missed Sam. He's a big character within the group, and I certainly recognise what he does when he's playing, but I think it's magnified when he's not out there. So he's been a big miss for us. And Baldy's going really well. Feel real sorry for him at the minute because he got that game in the reserves, and then there was no game either for us or in League One at Rochdale. So he'll get another opportunity this week. He's going to go to Rochdale. I think I mentioned this before. The way he's looked after himself, how diligent he's been with his rehab, and his weights. He looks fit. So his return to play for the Bulls will be accelerated because of the hard work that he's done. So it'd be good to get him another opportunity at a higher level this week, and then we'll see where he's at.
Is this because he's not had the pre-season? It looks like it's a very cautious return for Jordan.
I think it has to be when you've done something like an ACL. Like he's had 11 months out and he's played one game. So to throw him straight into the mix, that'd be real naive of me, and I wouldn't want to do that to him. It's important when we get him back. He's back at his best, and he's with us for the rest of the year. Still a long way to go in this season, and he's going to play a big part in that.
Corey Johnson's gone to Halifax. Obviously, he was on a season-long loan at Bradford. How's that come about? How's that been addressed?
Yeah, unfortunate, really. We love Corey. He only spent a week with us. He played in that. I think it was the Challenge Cup or 1895 game against Swinton. Yeah. Was really good. But then got recalled the week after to play in the reserves, and then got a head knock, and he's been out for some time with that. He was having some difficulty with it. So we obviously felt we needed to strengthen in that area, and Tyrone became available and has really impressed. So just come to the point where Corey was available again, we probably didn't need him. So I spoke to him today, I wished him all the best. It's just a shame how that kind of worked out. Who knows, if he wouldn't have got that head knock, I'm sure he'd still be here. But we wish him all the best. That strengthens Halifax now. He's a great player. He's a Super League player in my eyes. So I hope that he goes on and has a big year, big rest of the season, and then goes and plays for Leeds.
It's the reserves tonight against Leeds. I believe Dan Moss is featuring. Some other players that you're going to be having a look at?
No, Dan will play. Again, we've got some busted bodies, so like say Jaden Barraclough won't play. Don Waits has got a ban. So yeah, the rest of the boys, Sam Ackroyd, Jamie Gill, they'll all play. So looking forward to seeing them going ripping him.
On Sunday, obviously, it is Sheffield second in the table. One loss all season against Wakefield. These tough games just keep on coming.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I think I say that every week when we chat. Whoever we're playing, it's always going to be a tough one. Sheffield are outstanding. I think they've got a really complete group there. I think the spine's outstanding, and they've got some strike on their edges as well. And to complement that, a real strong pack. So I think it's a great game for us to go in and get back off the canvas.
And unlike your side, Eamon, with 9, or with George and Jaden added, maybe 10 players out injured, Sheffield relatively settled, so that's obviously helped Mark Aston's side perform.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think they've been a real connected group for a number of years, so yeah, that always helps. But it comes down to Sunday in that 80 minutes, we'll prepare the best we can, as we do week in, week out, and I've got the utmost confidence in my group. When
I looked at their squad, or certainly the 17 that featured against York at the weekend, I think there were 7 former Bradford players: Matty Dawson-Jones, Vila Halafihi, Aaron Murphy. A lot of those players obviously released by Bradford. No secret, when season's gone, they do appear to have a bit more bite and edge. Is that something you factor into your team talk, team preview with your side?
No, not at all. I think everyone who kind of comes up against their old club, there's always that extra incentive if you leave on good terms or not. So look, we'll solely focus on us, not the fact that we've got some lads who played for our club before coming back. They'll be welcomed back as they normally do. I think Jason does an outstanding job with that. In terms of mentioning them and giving them the heritage numbers if they haven't already been given. So I'm glad the club do that. But no, we'll there's a bit more for us to be looking at rather than the players that are coming back who've played for us before. They've got quality right throughout their team, so we'll be looking at that more so.
And just finally, we touched on it a little bit earlier, but obviously anyone who saw Wakefield v Bradford last week, they'll know exactly about that effort and that performance. Obviously, that was a big game, an 1895 Cup semi-final, a chance to get to Wembley. How easy or hard is it going to be to try and replicate that kind of environment so you get that same sort of effort and performance against Sheffield? Yeah,
well, there's a bit, during the week, your preparation is probably a little bit different going into semi-final. There's a few things that you kind of do that you can't do every single week. I think it's about filling the lads' tanks up, which we did on Tuesday, because they put a lot of effort into that game, so it was really important that we were smart with them on Tuesday and kind of recovered them. And then it just goes back to our preparation. We're a bit where we mentioned to the players, it comes to the point where it's over to you once you cross that line. I've got a group there that wants to respond, and not just because they're out of the 1895 Cup, but because of what's ahead of us. We've got a season to play for now, and we want to finish as high up as we possibly can. So look, that's gone now. We'll learn from it. The beauty for us is there's plenty of positives out of that game, so we need to hold on to that and use that as fuel for the rest of the season.